Imagine you own a restaurant and a very prominent and well-known food critic is actually in your town and maybe coming to your establishment. You'd want to be on your best behavior as a business, right? You'd want to make sure that everyone who's coming to your place of business is getting a good experience so that not only is the food critic happy with his service, but he sees that everyone else is as well, right? That's what most people would do if they're a good business person. But apparently, these people just can't learn from the mistakes of others, and it has happened again. These business owners just can't stop making themselves a target online. They exhibit these bad behaviors even though they know that Keith Lee is coming to their establishment. My name is Bree, and if you like watching commentary videos here on YouTube, I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to me. I just got started about a month ago. I've only put out a few videos so far, but I'm really enjoying doing this, being able to chat about these things with you guys. So I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. It really helps out a lot for someone like me who's really new to this. Thanks so much if you do that. We're going to talk today about Keith Lee. We're going to go over something that happened a few months ago in October, a major drama that happened with his food reviews, and then we're going to get to today where we're going to talk about something that happened just this week. I'm actually really excited to talk about this because it's pretty crazy what happened this week. Let's get into it. If you have never heard of Keith Lee before, he is a well-known food critic that posts to TikTok. He gets millions of views every time he uploads. He's also well-known and well-respected for his opinions on these food places because he is always honest and he refuses to let them treat him better just because he is a celebrity. If they try to seat him before anybody else, he always refuses and sometimes even leaves and goes elsewhere because he doesn't believe that he should be treated better just because he has a following on TikTok. At the end of October of 2023, Keith and his family traveled to Atlanta, Georgia to go to several different places they had been asked to review. Keith has stated before that every time he goes to a restaurant and eats their food, it's because he's been requested by either a worker or someone who owns the place or knows the owner to come eat there. So he doesn't just show up to random places. A lot of the time they know that he's going to be coming. And this trip to Atlanta was different for him than any of his previous trips to other places. He had a lot of situations, one after the other, that caused some drama online that he ended up having to post and clear up about it because there was lots of rumors going on and a lot of weird things just happened while he was on this trip. This trip actually spread around the internet and was a topic of conversation for weeks at this time just because of how weird some of these situations he went through were. Let's break it down and talk about the few things that he went through in Atlanta. The first incident took place at a restaurant called The Real Milk and Honey. They attempted to do a phone order, but when they called the restaurant, there was an automated message that told them that they had to actually do it through DoorDash. So they pulled open the app for DoorDash, and it actually said they were closed. Even though they were supposed to be open until 5 and it was 4 p.m. at the time that they wanted to place the order, for some reason it said that they were closed. And they were already outside of the building to begin with because they had already planned on going there. So instead of, messing around with the app, they decided to just send someone inside to see what was going on. Keith never is the first person to go into one of these restaurants just because he's so well known. His face is very recognizable. A lot of people know who he is. So to prevent getting any special treatment, he always sends a friend or a family member in first to see how they get treated before he makes his appearance because they want to see how is a normal person who's not a celebrity or not going to give any kind of benefit other than just buying food to this restaurant. How are they going to treat that person? If they get treated differently than they treat Keith, then he knows that it's not a great place to be. So he sent someone in to The Real Milk and Honey to ask about if they could order. And even though the door was wide open and many people were still coming in and out to pick up their orders, the person that was with Keith was told that they had actually closed early for some deep cleaning. And, that's whatever. If that's what they needed to do, it's fine. They probably should have put something up on the door or something. I'm not sure exactly how these people were still able to order the food, but they were still coming in and out. So Keith decided he should go in and speak with someone himself and see what the deal is. And upon going in, he was actually told they could seat him right away. And this is something that he's talked about many times. He doesn't like that. He doesn't want to be treated differently. Apparently they're supposed to be closed. How are they going to give him a table if they're closed? So after this experience, Keith posted a short review saying, I have no food here, I can't try it. They closed early for cleaning, but when I went in, they tried to seat me early. And his fans know by now that he doesn't like that. So they actually went elsewhere. He didn't film where he went. He didn't really talk about where he went. He just decided that even though they were trying to accommodate him, even though they said they were closed, he didn't want to eat there because he doesn't want to be treated special. While the review that Keith posted about the real milk and honey did get quite a few views, it didn't really stir up as much of an issue as the next couple of incidents did. And this was where the real drama and huge situation that became nationwide news started to happen. So the second incident was at a place called Old Lady Gang. Keith and his family showed up to a restaurant called Old Lady Gang, and he asked his grandmother to go inside and attempt to get a table. At first, she was trying to do takeout because it's a lot easier for Keith to do takeout where he can just sit in the car and try it and record it. But they said that they don't do takeout on the weekends because it's so busy. He said, understandable, sometimes they don't have enough staff for that. That's fine. So then the grandma asked, how long of a wait is it for a table? And she said hour to an hour and a half, but they don't have a wait list or reservations or anything like that. So there's no way to contact her when there's a table ready. You kind of just have to wait around and be there when a table's ready. That's kind of weird that they would do it like that. It must be really confusing trying to figure out who is in line to wait for a table and keep it in order without skipping someone. But they don't seem too concerned by that because they don't take people's information for some reason. So after Keith's grandmother came out and told him what she was told, he went inside to see if they would act any different with him showing his face in there, and they did.
How long are we looking for as far as taking?
I'm just gonna sit up there for 5 minutes. I don't know, wait, this call came. Now it's whoever first come, first serve.
On second thought, it's okay. We gonna go eat somewhere else. So I appreciate it though. For sure. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
Y'all have a great day.
Have a good one.
Have a great day.
Hold on a second. Didn't she just tell his grandmother that there is no wait list? They don't take the information or phone numbers from guests, and that it's basically just first come, first serve. You have to come up there when a table is ready, because that's what she said. And so Keith was pretty understandably, not feeling like that's a great thing and shouldn't eat there, so they left. And where they went after that actually became a separate incident the next day. After having such a bad experience at Old Lady Gang and still being left hungry, Keith and his family decided to go find another place to eat, and they had planned on not filming anything. This wasn't anymore for his TikTok, it was just for them to get some food because they were quite hungry. So they went to a place called Toast on Lenox, and when they got there, they saw that there was some people sitting in their cars and waiting, and he sent someone in again to go see if they could get a table or get a reservation or anything like that, and they were told it was a 2.5-hour wait. After being told by whoever went inside that it was going to be that long of a wait, Keith went in, as he usually does, to see if they're going to treat him different. And they did. They offered to seat him immediately. So literally within an hour or so, this happened to him twice, one after the other. And again, he had never intended to post or talk about this situation at Toast on Lenox at all, but the people that were sitting in their cars in the parking lot, they witnessed these altercations happening, and they actually recorded some of it.
If they get food, we'll sit down. If they get food first, we sit down. That's the only way we sit down. If they get food.
Y'all heard him.
God bless y'all.
You too.
When Keith left after saying we're not going to eat here, the manager and the owner followed him out into the parking lot trying to convince him to stay and eat. And he said, there are people sitting in their cars. I'm not going to eat before them. I'm not skipping the line. I'm not going to let you do that to them. If you let the one car that's trying to sit at a table take the table you were going to give me, and then you also serve the other people waiting in their cars that have been waiting an hour just for takeout, if you serve them first, I will eat here. But I'm not going to do that unless you take care of them first. They've been here much longer. I just got here. So they agreed. They served the other people that were waiting first, and then Keith and his family ordered takeout where he did not film it, and they were just basically just trying to eat. So the fact that these people in the car had filmed him speaking with the manager, it was posted on TikTok and it went quite viral. The audio of it was quite bad, so you couldn't really tell sometimes what him and the manager were saying to each other. So some rumors started to spread that Keith was yelling at the manager for something and that he was being like angry. But that was not the case, and because there was so many rumors going out about this, Keith had to respond the next day to clear up some of the misconceptions that had happened. After having these multiple incidents take place over just a few days, Keith went home from Atlanta and things died down quite a bit. I didn't hear about any kind of drama or anything like that until this week. Just a few days ago, Keith posted a new taste test for a place called Sweetly Seasoned. It's a food truck in Dallas, Texas, and the reason that Keith knew about it was because the owner, Kim Viverette, her son Trey, had made a TikTok recently asking for Keith to come and try their food. He mentioned that they were having trouble getting customers to come and that it could be something with their marketing, but he wanted Keith to come try their food and if he liked it, to give them a good review. So Keith was going to be in the area anyway, and I think that's why he made the video. He knew that Keith was going to be coming. So Keith did go there and he tried the food. Now, the review that he did was very positive. For everything he ate, it got between like an 8 and a 9. So the food was great. The only thing he really had to say was their marketing needs some work. They need to put all their information online. They didn't really have their address or their phone number online well enough, clear enough for people. And also the website was a little weird, so he recommended they redo their website, make sure all of the live streams that they do for TikTok had all the information of where they're located and their phone numbers, and just to focus a little more, put a little more money into the marketing. On top of the food truck, they also had 2 different people there. They had a barber who was cutting hair, as well as a braider who was doing braids for people. So when Keith went to pay for his food, he had only spent about $80 on the food itself. He told the owner, Kim, that he was going to leave an extra $4,000 on his card, and he stipulated exactly how he wanted that money spent.
Appreciate y'all for having us. I see y'all giving out haircuts and doing braids. So we want to leave $1,000 to the barber so he can cut everybody hair for free. We want to leave you $1,000 because we fix the hair. We want to leave you $2,000. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, so say you charge my barber $4,000 and y'all give me however y'all feel. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
He said it was going to be $1,000 to the barber for people to get free haircuts, $1,000 to the braider for people to get free braids, $2,000 is a tip for Kim herself as, you know, a thank you for the good food and service and all of that. And then he also wanted to give another $300 towards people's food. So like $300 of free meals for the next few customers behind him. So that's a total of $4,300 on top of the $80 he had to pay for his own food that was supposed to go towards basically marketing. It's free marketing. You know, people are going to come. They're not going to have to pay for their food because Keith paid for it. It's going to spread the word. Hey, they gave a bunch of free stuff away. But technically, it's not free because Keith already paid them, right? They should be getting paid for that regardless of whether it's coming from Keith or if it's coming from the person who's getting their hair cut. Keith made a statement basically saying that they can divvy it up however they see fit. And what he meant by that is, since he's paying on the POS system with his credit card, that after the money hits, because it's not right away, it usually takes like a day or 2 at least for the money to hit their bank account, they can divvy it up however they see fit, like through Apple Pay or through Zelle or through Venmo, like however they needed to get that money to the barber and the braider, that it was up to them how they wanted to do it. The reason why he had to use the POS system is, he said, for safety. There was a lot of people in the parking lot. He never carries cash because that makes him and his family a target, especially because people know who he is. And he said because there were so many people on live streams there, he couldn't get any of their info for him to be able to like Venmo or PayPal them money, and he wasn't going to give his own phone over to these people that he doesn't know to type in their information, because again, that could cause, they could do whatever they wanted to on his phone. They could put something on there. They could try to steal his information. He wasn't going to give his phone over. So the best way to do it, and the most safest way to do it, was through the point of sale system. So that's what he did. He went to Kim. He said, I'm going to pay, the $80 that I owe, and then on top of that, the $4,300. And then once you get that money, you can choose how to give it to them. But he made it very clear how he wanted that money to be divvied up. Unfortunately, they didn't want to follow what he asked of them. Instead of using the money as stipulated by Keith in the way that he wanted it used, Kim decided to keep all $4,300 for herself, and then they still charged everyone for their haircuts, for the braiding, and for the food. So Kim got paid twice, and she got to keep all of that money that was supposed to go to the barber and the braider. She said that they are separate businesses and they don't have to do it. And because Keith said, however you see fit, that she could decide if they were supposed to get the money or not. That is not what Keith said, and there is so many videos proving that is not what he said, and everybody else knew what he meant except these two apparently. And Trey has been going online trying to justify this. He's making TikTok after TikTok trying to justify that because Keith said how you see fit, that they can keep all of that money for themselves. It's so crazy to me that they would do this, because you can make so much more money than $4,300 by just doing the right thing, giving the money to the people the way that Keith wanted, and allowing that good press to come from him to make your business even stronger. They would have made way more than $4,000. That is such a crazy thing that they did. She harmed her own business so bad. Not only are people online upset about her keeping this money, their own customer base and other people local to the area are really upset with her for this. And they're trying to really justify it, saying they didn't do anything wrong, and that the way that Keith is talking about it, it ain't right. Because they use the fact that Keith didn't respond right away or make a post right away about it to try to say that what they did was fine with him. When he finally came out and said, no, that's not okay, that ain't right, there's no way to justify this. There just isn't. What they did was so wrong, and it's like they shot themselves in their own feet. Why would you do that when you could make so much more money? They seriously doomed their business to fail because of this. $4,000. Was it worth it? I don't think it's worth it. I think they would have made a lot more money had they just done the right thing. I don't know what, it's like not even, it's just crazy to me. I feel really bad that this happened to Keith, because he was just trying to do a kind and good thing and help this business out. And they were so selfish. I can't believe that they would think that he would be okay with them keeping all that money, when before he even agreed to do it, he told them what he wanted the money to be used for. And it seems like in his video addressing the situation, his first video after it happened, that he has kind of learned a lesson from this. And it sucks, because there are so many other places out there that would have done the right thing. They would have done what he wanted. They would have been so grateful. They would have thanked him profusely. They would have cried, and they would have done what they were asked to do. And I just can't believe that this business, they really think that what they did was okay and are trying to justify it. It is so wrong what they did. Trey is also making shots on his TikTok towards the barber and the braider, trying to act like they're selfish or that they had to find someone else because these people didn't want to do what Keith had asked. In reality, they're just trying to, they're trying to pull the curtain, over your eyes and not have you see what they actually did, and try to basically just distract from the fact they stole the money and blame it on everybody else or everything else that they can. And that is going to be the end of their business. That is going to ruin them, because they were already having trouble having customers to begin with. And in Keith's video, he mentioned it's because of personal reasons. It's not just because of their business. Their food is good, but it's because of stuff that happens around the food truck, and stuff that happens in their personal lives is affecting their business. So now that they have done this horrible thing and the whole public knows about it, they are not going to have a food business this time next year. I guarantee you that, because nobody's going to want to eat there. They're going to be like, this person's a thief. This person stole money from not even just from the braider and the barber, but out of the hands of the community. that money was supposed to pay for food for people that may not have had that much money. It could have gone to people that really needed it. Instead, she kept it because she thought that Keith told her that she could. I guarantee you they didn't even really think that. They just heard him say it and knew they could use it as a reason to keep it all. It was just straight up selfish, and they deserve what's going to happen next with their business, because that was so wrong and one of the worst business decisions I've ever seen happen on the internet in quite a while. All right, that's all I've got for you guys today. Again, if you liked what you saw here, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Mostly I'm doing commentary videos right now, but if I ever have the desire in the future, I will be making videos about gaming as well as TV and movies if I feel so inclined. Also, I stream almost every morning here on YouTube to play. Right now I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West on my PS5. I'm replaying for the second time, and I will be playing the DLC, The Burning Shores, for the first time when I go live. So if you are interested in that, I'm on quite a bit. I hope to see you there. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care!